this is the ID. Okay, so now first is what we are doing, we are creating a constructor. Yeah, to create a constructor first we need class. What we need? Class, because we should create constructor for a class. So we will take one class. Okay, like to create a class we have a keyword class, class name employee. Okay, now class body, this is a class body. Inside the class body we will take some data members. Okay, so data members, like we are taking integer type, emp id. Okay, then emp age, string type emp name, emp father name, take some like salary, we have taken 6 data members. These all data members is used to store the information of an employee. Okay, so here these data members are what? We didn't write here any access specifier. By default these data members are private. What kind of data members? Private data members of the class. What is the class name? Employee. Okay, these are the private data members of the class employee. For this class we create constructor. What we create? Constructor. How we'll create it? Constructor is a special method with the same name as the class name. So first we should remember constructor should be public. So we write a keyword public. After that the constructor name. Constructor has no return type. So we will not write any return type for the constructor, directly the constructor name. Constructor name is same as the class name. Then it is a method. So we will write like this and we make a constructor body. Inside the constructor body we will write some source code to initialize the data members of the class. Why constructor is very important for us? Constructor help us to initialize the data members of the class. It is a default constructor. We are not passing any parameters, so it is default constructor. Default constructor for what? To initialize data members of the class. What is the class name? Employee. These are this constructor is used to initialize the data members of the class. What is the first data member? emp id. Okay, emp id is integer type, so we are taking like 101 first data. Second, like emp we will take name. So it is showing father name first, so we will take here string type value. EMP ID, EMP name, EMP father name, we have taken these values. Now we will take EMP age. It is also a integer type value. And next one is employee salary. It is a double type value. So we'll take some decimal values. So you can check here, we have given the data for each member of the class. The data member employee ID, employee age, employee name, father name, salary. And we have given the value to each data member. Okay. So it means we initialize the data. We have given the values to the data. Now we want to make sure to initialize these values to the data members. We know very well how can we call the constructor. We will not call the constructor by ourselves. Constructor will be called by the compiler automatically. We just create an object for this class. What we'll do? Just create object for this class. What is the name of the class? Employee. Where should we go for creating object? Inside the main body. Okay, where is the main body? In the program class. So we will go in the next class. The next class is program. Inside this class we will create object. We will create object employee. You can see it is showing the full, and it is object creation for class employee. It is object creation for class employee. Now we can see one thing. With the help of object you just make an object and object will automatically fire and constructor will be called and constructor will initialize the values to the data members. But here we didn't give any statement to see the value on the output screen. To show the value on the output screen, I need to take one method. Okay, I need to take one method. So we will create one method for this purpose. We create a method. This is a method. Okay, method we want to access outside the class, so it should be public because we need to access outside the class. The method name, first the method return type, because if you are creating method should have return type. So I am taking return type here, first void. Then the method name I am taking like display. Okay, so we create a method and this is the method body. Inside the method body we need to write a statement to display the output on the screen. So for displaying output on the screen we need console dot write line Okay, so console dot write line. First is what we have, employee ID. Yeah, so we'll take emp ID. Second emp age, salary and name as well. emp name, emp father name, here we will write /t. It is only for making a space in between. Okay, it is for name, f name, and we need one more here. So you can see it is like that. It is a ID, name, father name, age and salary. Okay, all we have taken here, and we can take here /n for the next line. This is for display the data. This is a method and used for displaying data on the console screen. Very simple. Default constructor, initialize the data members of the class, method to display the values on the console screen, method have a return type, constructor do not have a return type. Okay, constructor will be called automatically whenever you create an object, but method you should call. So how you will calling the method? Please, this is method definition. Now here the method calling. How you will be calling? emp dot method name. What is the method name? Display. And this is method calling done by the user. This is manual calling, because whenever you will write this statement, then only your system will call this method. Otherwise, it will not be called. Whatever you have a definition in your program, it doesn't matter. The matter is you are calling this or not. If you are not calling, it will not be called. So it is under the programmer control, and constructor is not under the programmer control, it is under the system control. Okay, constructor always under the system control and method always under the programmer control. So after that, just console. So you can see this is the program for default constructor. So if we execute this, you can see the output from the method. Yeah, so values automatically initialized by the constructor, and you are seeing the values from the method. Now Now take an input through the keyboard. So for getting input through the keyboard, what we'll do? We take a readline statement, okay, readline method. So how can we apply readline methods? First, the console class dot readline method, okay, and here you see the value of which type. The data is of integer type, so we need to convert this data to integer type. We need to convert this data to integer type because only integer type data can store to the integer type variable, okay. And console readline always receiving value in the form of a string, so we need to convert it. So by using convert class method, we will convert our and now another data members, you can see for name and father name we have a string type value. Already we are having a string type data, so string type value we do not convert, we directly use. So we have a string type value and we directly put the string type to string type data. Here is again integer type, so we will take integer. We put the integer, and this is double type, so we put here two double. So we input the all values through the keyboard, okay. So now you want to show to the user as well what the user needs to input, so you will write here console dot write line, input here, enter, employee ID. It is better don't take write line, take only write. Next line, what you need? Employee name. Next line, you need employee father name. Employee so with the help of these statements, just we are giving information to the user. You need to enter here employee ID, after that you need to enter employee name, is like that, okay. So it doesn't matter, the matter is we are initializing the value to the data members. It is the first data member, then we have another data member name, another data member father name, then the age, then the salary, okay. These are the 5 data members and we have given the values to each data member through the keyboard. We have applied here console.readline method, okay. So whenever you execute this program, you will see it will ask the value from you. I didn't change anything in the object section. In the object section, whatever I created is same, okay. I just change, you want to get the input through the keyboard or you want to be initialized by yourself. So it is asking for employee ID, so like we have given the first ID, then the name, So you can see here, whatever the data you entered by the keyboard, this data has been displayed here. So here you are using your constructor and here you are using your method. Okay, method under the call by the programmer and constructor will be called automatically by the system. So this is constructor and this is method. This is what? This is the example of default constructor. Okay, here how many objects you are creating, number of times your constructor will be called automatically. How many objects you are creating? Like I am creating another object. What is the object 1? EMP. I am taking here EMP1 and I will create this object, another object also, and I will write here EMP2. I will write here EMP2. Then I will write here EMP1 display, and then I will write one more object, display data EMP2. So now dear, we have created two objects, okay, two objects, and again we are calling our display method two times for object 1 and for object 2. Okay, so now we can see the results here. I am not changing here anything, everything is same here. One time I create only this code. Okay, and how many times you need to execute, you will create object accordingly. If you need to enter data for 100 students, you need to create object 100. If you want to create data for 10 students, create 10 objects. Okay, accordingly. So just here it is asking for employee ID. You can check here like 101 name now you can see this is the data for first employee and it is again asking for the employee ID, means we are on the second data. Okay, now this is the data for first employee and this is the data for second employee. Yes, we have called here object 1 display method and object 2 display method. Employee 1 display method and employee 2 display method. Whenever you will just see the data for the 2 employees, means how many objects you are creating, your constructor will be called automatically the number of times. Okay, all of you understand this? Any problem in this till now? So now this is the example of default constructor. We didn't pass any parameter in this regard. You can see here this is a default constructor. We did not pass any parameter in this. Okay,